Juniors, hello, it's the counselors coming to talk with you today about managing the college application process. As you know, this entire year, through advisory and individual conversations, we have encouraged you all to go on an introspective journey to learn about yourself, graduate, and land on the right post-secondary option for you. We know that every one of you is on your own individual journey. We encourage you to keep this process going so that you can evolve, have passion, and ultimately land where you're going to be happy. Today, we're going to specifically talk to those of you looking at college. Whether it's 2-year, 4-year, community, or technical college, we want to give you some strategies and steps for you to take to be able to reduce the stress that could be involved in this process and rather enjoy it and be excited about it because you're going on to something next. We're going to give you some ideas on how to create a list of colleges to apply to, which is a continual conversation, preparing your best application so that it's timely, applying to colleges before their respective deadlines, and looking at the financial fit as well. The first step that we want to discuss with you is making a smart list of colleges. As you know, we've done a number of activities with you this year. In particular, we had a lesson called Building a Smart List of Post-Secondary Options. All of the activities that we've done this year can be found on Naviance by clicking on the My Planner tab, Tasks, and Tasks Assigned to Me. By doing that, you're going to be able to go back and have a host of resources to take you on this journey, again, starting with you and landing on a smart list of schools. One of the activities for which we did was a lesson called Building a Smart List of Post-Secondary Options. That walks you through a 6-step process, including having a template to help you land on a smart list of schools. There's all kinds of tools that you'll find in those resources as well, from hyperlinks to different resources, from websites to books to help you with this process. In addition to Naviance having all of the activities we've done, invite your families and for you, when you're ready, to go on to the Edina High School Student Services website and click on your class, and all of them can be found there as well. What we want you to know is that the single best thing that you can do when you're building a list of smart options is to consider getting on campuses. We would encourage you to consider getting on campus for you to know if it's a right fit. Using summer is a great idea, or looking at the fall to get some visits out there. We, on the front page of Naviance, have list builder notes for you to look at, college representative notes that you can ask, etc. In the summer, Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin offer a Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa Private Colleges Week. Take a look at those websites so you can consider looking at a variety of schools. In addition, there's a very cool college fair called Colleges That Change Lives in August. Check that out. On top of that, in our College and Career Center, we have over 200 colleges that want to come and talk with you about their school because they're very interested in you picking their school for your right fit. If you're interested at all in doing that, if you go to your Naviance account, click on the Colleges I'm Thinking About tab, you're going to get an invite from us when they are here at our school. You can then ask your teacher for a pass and be able to talk with colleges to see if it's a good fit for you and also show the college that you have interest in that college. When you're making a list, some really important things to consider. And again, the template called Building a Smart List of Post-Secondary Options walks you through this. We encourage students to think about not too many, but all of them should be possible homes. Ideally, 6 to 8 is about right because then you have the law of diminishing returns if you exceed 8. We encourage you all to consider one Minnesota school just in case something good or bad happens to you and your family. In addition to that, we encourage students to look at a school that we would consider to be called a target school, a school that you know for sure that you could be admitted to. If you do those things, then you could consider looking at some schools that are your dream school. Maybe they have a lower admission rate. You can go for it if you've done those things, from having a school where you really know you'll be accepted to and a Minnesota school. Again, 6 to 8 is a really good number. 3 of them should be schools that you know you'd be accepted to, so that would be a high chance of admission. 3 of them could be schools that you have a medium chance of admission, and 3 of those schools could be schools that you have a low chance of admission. Again, using that Smart List template can really help you with this process. Jumping into, as you're managing the college application process, we want to emphasize that 4-year colleges require an ACT or SAT test. You are taking the ACT in April and you should be receiving your scores in the mail. You can go to ACT's website and use your ID from that test and be able to merge any previous tests that you've taken. If you plan to take the ACT again, there is a June and July date coming up where you can register. A note on standardized tests, a couple of things to note. When you are applying to colleges, we do not send your ACT or SAT scores. You must send them officially from ACT for ACT scores and College Board for SAT scores. Another note about standardized tests is it's one test on one day with you filling in bubbles. We really want you to have perspective about standardized testing and want you to know that the number one thing that colleges are looking at is how you're doing every day in your classes, and in particular in your college prep courses, which are English, math, science, social studies, and world language. Some things to remember about tests as well is we are seeing more and more four-year colleges choosing to become what's called test optional. They realize you taking an ACT test score or an SAT test is not going to measure how well you're going to do in college. Therefore, they do not require it. We are at over 1,100 four-year colleges that no longer require an ACT or SAT score. If testing is not your deal and you're feeling stress about it, take a look at some of those schools. That's something to note, and don't let that define you. An additional thing to look at is whether or not, when you're managing this college application process, is if a school also requires what's called an SAT 2 subject test. And that is something that you would look at from each college's website. As you're organizing your college admission requirements, we encourage you to use Naviance. If you start to put in college that you're thinking about, it actually builds a graphic organizer for you. You can start to look at whether or not a school requires an essay or those SAT subject tests I referenced, or whether or not it needs a letter of recommendation by going to the college's websites. Using a graphic organizer can really help you with that, as well as the financial aid piece of it. We encourage you to work backwards with deadlines. When you're learning about when a college has an application deadline, work backwards from when it's due. Set up weekly times to potentially work on your application and try to be done with your application 1 to 2 weeks ahead of time. In addition, there are things that we need you to do with us as far as school materials. We really encourage you to get those requests in 3 weeks before any deadline. Know the procedures of your colleges. We're going to talk about the college application process from the high school procedure side as well as your side. The first step that we want to reference with you is that most colleges are going to require you to send a transcript. We do not take any email requests for you to ask us to send a transcript to a college, nor if they email us to ask us to send on your behalf your transcript. Instead, we have an official transcript request form called the Pink Sheet. And we'll talk with you about this in the fall, but you're going to have this Pink Sheet available to you, no appointment needed, where you can come in and request school materials to be sent off to your colleges. Some colleges, not all four-year colleges, require a letter of recommendation. We encourage you to fill out a teacher request form for any teacher you're interested in writing on your behalf, as well as a counselor recommendation request form for any school that requires a counselor recommendation, and give your writer 3 weeks. We are going to give you more details on how to request a letter of recommendation, because you need to go into Naviance and request that the teacher send it via Naviance. We use Naviance as an electronic means to send all of your school materials out. The first way that you can apply to colleges is through an online application. An online application is an ability for you to go directly to the college's website, fill out their application, then you would request your transcript from us by filling out the Pink Sheet, and you want to make sure you do all of this, and the school materials in particular, 3 weeks before the deadline. Again, you do not need appointments to request school materials. There's also an application called the Common Application, which is a consortium of over 700 colleges, where you're able to fill out one application and submit the application to more than one college. In order to do a common application, you do have to match your common application with Naviance. We will discuss that with you, as well as there's a short video that you can get from the counselor website to show you how to do that. You need to match the Common App with your Naviance because we use Naviance again to send all of your materials out electronically. And again, this hyperlink, which is on Naviance under the My Planner tab and on the counselor website, shows you how to do that. You will do that after we get back to school in the fall. The Common Application is available now for you to start building your Common Application, and what it will do is roll over to you as a senior after August 1st. This is a picture of Naviance and the Colleges I'm Thinking About tab, which creates an actual organizer for you with colleges you're considering. If you note, there is a delivery type if it is a Common Application. If you're interested in Bard College, for example, it's going to let you see that in order to apply to Bard, you're going to be using the Common Application. When you're on Naviance, you can find out when their deadlines are. And then you can click on more to learn more about that college and different requirements that are necessary for you to apply. Whether you need an essay, whether you need SAT 2 subject tests, whether you need a letter of recommendation. There's an additional way to apply called the Coalition Application, which is around over 100 colleges, mostly private, and those are schools that also use the Common Application. It's a fairly new platform for students to use to apply to college, and there's only about 5 schools that are exclusively using the Coalition Application. For most of our students, we recommend that you use the Common Application. Financial aid, looking at not only your academic fit, but also your personal social fit, and finally your financial fit is really important. When you are in your senior year after October 1st, you can fill out what's called the free application for federal student aid. No matter how much money you or your family makes, it's important to fill that out to determine if you're eligible for any institutional, state, federal aid. If you have an expected family contribution that determines that you have need, many times you'll be able to get some free money, such as scholarships and grants. And it also can determine if you don't have need, whether or not you qualify for school money. So it makes sense to fill that out after October 1st of your senior year. In addition, check out your college's websites to find out if they have an additional institutional form called the CSS profile. When you're filling out your application, it is always going to be prior, so the tax information from 2 years before you graduate. This click right here, this actual hyperlink, brings you to a comprehensive college applications instructions. It is basically going to give you the 1, 2, 3s on what you need to do to be able to get it done at EHS and apply to college. We really encourage you to take a look at that and follow those steps, and we will be going over that with you in the fall again. This is a continual conversation. We just are now in the spring giving you some ideas on what you can be doing to kind of manage this process as you leave for summer and come back feeling prepared in the fall. So know that it's going to be a continual conversation. We're here along with you as a team member to help you with this process. Again, a reminder, all of these activities are on the high school website as well as on your Naviance tab so that you have resources to be able to continue this introspective journey, again, graduate, and land at the right place for you. Until the next time, we will meet with you soon, so take care and have a great day.